We are.
Hello, everyone who is entering into the live stream at the moment or entering into the podcast on Spotify or Apple or Anchor or Radio Public or really anything else. Mac was just gone getting the podcast up on screen for us, which is good for us, just so we can get sort of a frame of reference of what's going on. But yeah, shall we start it?
I shall. Welcome back to the COG Weekly podcast, season 3, episode 29.
Yes, 29 in to season 3.
Yes.
It's been a wild ride, and if you notice, I don't really know if you can notice on screen, but the table at least has been cleared, and that's because we did a bit of spring cleaning. It looks very
clean, yeah.
We did a bit of spring cleaning. So me and Mac had our
couple crumbs there.
Couple crumbs from the Panera we had earlier.
Yeah.
But Mac and I did a bit of a reorganization of the studio today in our first ever full-time day doing class on graphic media and the COG Weekly podcast. So big ups to that. Huge milestone. First time putting in the hours and just trying to get everything sorted for the next couple weeks while we work full-time on the podcast. But yeah, without further ado, shall we start with the Hassani of the week? I posted the 3 candidates onto social media a little bit earlier ago. That doesn't really work, does it?
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
the grammar's not quite there.
But it's not a grammar show.
It's not. No, you don't.
It's a
come
soccer
here
show.
For the grammar, you come here for the soccer.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I posted the 3 candidates to Instagram about 45 minutes ago. So if you got to see that and you have been sort of, I don't know, contemplating or
discussions with yourself.
Yeah, if you've been really just sitting in a corner thinking about what the 3 people really mean to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where we're going with this.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We will decide in a minute. Producer Sutton is getting the lights on.
Yeah, there it is.
My word.
Wow.
I can't wait to see on the screen.
Yeah.
That's going to be lovely. But
yeah, exactly.
But yes, Producer Sutton just got the lights on. Got to make sure my hair's good as well. I didn't quite do that yet.
Well, you have to see our... Yep, I mean...
That's lovely.
Our faces just bright.
Absolutely fantastic. Yep. If you saw him in the reflection of the Pirlo jersey, you can see it. You
can see him. Yeah.
But Gregory said Suddy did some hard work setting up the lighting.
Yeah, I mean...
Thank you, Greg. It's great to see you acknowledge Producer Sutton.
There we go,
but yeah,
Greg.
like I said, if you've been contemplating on the 3 candidates for Hassani of the week, now is your time to see who gets it. So without further ado, let's put the Hassani candidates on the screen. The 3 of them are Mr. Rodrigo Gos, Mr. Richarlison, and Mr. Heung-min Son. So, 3 fantastic players.
Yes.
3 players who have had themselves a absolute worldie of a week, we could say. Maybe it wasn't quite as good as previous weeks, but it was still very solid performances from each of them. Do you want to go left to right or right to left? I know it's a question I ask every time, but it's serious.
So we did right to left last time, and I think we should continue with that.
You think we should continue?
So Rodrigo to start. Scored a brace.
Oh yeah, right to left. Yeah.
Scored a brace in a 4-0 win versus Espanyol to win the league, which we will talk about a little later on about the significance of that. But congratulations to Real Madrid. I think by far the best team in La Liga this year.
I would definitely agree. Barca's Xavi began to rival them during a hot streak in February and March, but that has sort of trailed off as of late, and I don't think anyone has been able to match their consistency that Carlo Ancelotti has instilled in that Real side throughout the entirety of this season. So it's very well deserved, and Rodrigo just capped off a very good team display throughout the past 8-9 months, and they were good goals as well.
They were fantastic goals. And did you see Asensio also scored, which I
haven't
heard his name.
I did not see Asensio's goal, no.
I haven't heard his name in a long time.
Marco has been quite quiet.
Yeah.
Well, he did tear his ACL 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And so he was out for a bit. And it's sort of, he's been in the shadows ever since returning. And he's not really been in the spotlight. Vinicius, Karim Benzema, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Rodrigo. They've all been sort of stealing the line.
Isco as well. I feel like Isco and Asensio have been...
Isco is more of a hyped player who I think just never lived up to quite the expectations that people set for him. I think
Yeah.
Asensio is more just he's not really been in the limelight over the past 2 years, but I think he still has that time to improve
Hmm.
and bring himself back to
Yeah.
that sort of level.
Exactly. But so that was Rodrigo with the brace, and then in the middle there, taking the picture, is Heung-min Son, who believe is second time in the running for Hassani in the past couple weeks. I believe he was there
Yeah,
just a bit
I do
ago.
agree. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think. Do you want me to check? I can
you
check
can.
on the Instagram to see if he was ever in the running in the
Yeah.
past. Son was in the running in season 3, episode 26 with Karim
Okay,
Benzema and
so
Ciro Immobile.
3 episodes ago. But he scored another brace against Leicester at home in a 3-1 win. Tottenham are now only 2 points behind Arsenal in fourth place. That North London derby is going to be very tense in the next week or so, I believe. And but Son's goals, his second one especially, was just incredible. Left-footed, cut inside and then curled it far post, left-footed. Just incredible goal. And we talk about it, but Tottenham are, I think, they might take over Arsenal
Yeah,
for that fourth place.
I have it in the plan for us to talk about it later, but they are, and I can just check for the exact stat right now. I believe that they are. Well, now I can't find it. That's great. I put it in the plan somewhere. Okay, so they're 2 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah.
We're in fourth.
Yeah. And that North London derby, I think, will be huge.
Yeah.
And I believe that's either their next game or the game after that.
I know Paul will be very into that game.
Yeah, the boys over at Woolwich Warriors. Worshippers. Warriors and worshippers. Yeah.
But yeah, that they will be
Thursday,
that
next
game.
Thursday.
Maze
Yeah.
Wealth, 1:45 p.m. Set your schedules. That'll be a big game, especially if both of them continue on the same path in regards to performances in other competitions, etc. But yeah, big things are coming ahead with all of the leagues winding to an end, all of the major competitions winding to an end. And another game which had a lot of intensity and a lot of character from the team who was not expected to win was the Everton versus Chelsea game, which Richarlison scored in the 46th minute to make Everton go up 1-0, and they were able to hold Chelsea off for the rest of the game and finished 1-0, which put Richarlison on the left side of your screen if you are watching visually into the Hassani of the Week candidates. He had a great little celebration. And,
He did.
And overall, I think it was a good performance from him as well for the circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously only one goal on the week when Hassani candidates usually have multiple goals. But I feel like the importance of that goal and a win against Chelsea for Frank Lampard and that team, it's still going to be difficult. I believe they're still in the relegation zone, but they are now just a little bit closer to Leeds and Burnley, who actually Leeds, I know we looked at their schedule at some point, but they have a very tough schedule to end the season, so that could bring, Leeds back into the relegation zone. I wouldn't want that to happen, although it would be tough for Everton to go down as well. Two not hateable teams, I'd say.
Yeah.
Burnley have just done an insane job since they fired Dyche, and both ends of the table is very tight this season. But all right, what do you think about? Who should get
I'm saying that
the vote?
Well, so Rodrigo, obviously, I think he's in a similar situation to Richarlison for this Hassani. They were both very important games, respectively, for their teams and for their fans. So, all three were. Son, obviously, for that top four race, it was important. But I think the relegation race and the title race are like the two biggest ones you hear in every league. And both teams were really like needing to clinch or needing to climb their way out. So I think those are the two biggest performances in regards to meaning. And I would say that Rodrigo had the best performance of the two, just getting 2 goals and whatnot. So I would put my money on Rodrigo getting the Hassani for this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that.
Disagree.
Yeah, I was actually more debating between Son and Richarlison.
Really?
Yeah, because it was a 4-0 win for Real Madrid.
Espanyol, yes.
Yeah, so his goals didn't matter in an insane amount.
They did not.
While Son and Richarlison, the score would have been a lot different if they
I do
didn't
see
score
that.
those.
I do see
Yeah.
that.
And Richarlison with a relegation battle versus a league title winner, I feel like Real Madrid would have won that.
Regardless.
Yeah, exactly. But Richarlison with relegation, it's very up in the air still.
So
So
would you have gone with Richarlison over Son?
maybe.
Because if
Yeah.
you say that, then I think we can agree on Richarlison because mine was Rodrigo over Richarlison, yours was Richarlison over Son.
Do you want to go Richarlison?
I think we can go Richarlison.
Okay.
Okay, so
think-
Richarlison's
yeah.
the person we're finalizing with.
I mean, the celebration added to it as
The
well.
celebration was
Holding the
fantastic.
smoke
Flares.
bomb, yeah.
Oh, gosh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch over to the ratings screen. Just let me know when they can hear us. Are we good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, they can hear me? Perfect. All right. So, you guys did see the screen for a second. So we have like the top 3 ratings and the bottom 3 ratings, which are good for you guys to like have perspective in
Yeah.
regards, you know what I mean?
Because we usually talk about it, but
We,
I think
we speak
visually,
on the table that we have,
yeah,
but it's, it's kind of hard when you guys don't get to like see the table that we have of our previous episodes. So, I mean, while Suddy fixes that, we can just go through
Mhm.
the.
We should be good.
We're good. All right, perfect.
okay,
So yeah, the table has the top 3 and the bottom 3 players that we have decided throughout the season for the Sonny of the Week that have gotten the best rating, or the worst rating. So it gives you guys perspective, like I was saying. So looking at the top 3, we have Karim Benzema with an 8.8, and then Karim Benzema with an 8.75, and then Gabriel
Incredible.
Jesus from last episode
Yeah.
with an 8.52. So as you can tell, it's quite hard to get up in the high 8s, and it's proven impossible so far to get into the 9s. And those performances from Benzema were hat tricks in the Champions League.
yeah, you can't
Like,
get,
it's not much
you
better.
can't
than
get much better than that, and to have 2 of those in the top 2 is incredible as well.
Yeah.
Especially only 2 weeks apart from each other. So what are you thinking for the rating compared to those, for Richarlison, for this week? What do you
Well,
think?
if I look at the bottom 3 of the Hassani of the Weeks, the first one that comes to mind that's quite similar is Anthony Elanga. Anthony Elanga, when he won this Hassani of the Week, scored a goal versus Atletico in the Champions League round of 16, and it was a deciding goal that decided that game, that leg of the game, you could say. And I feel like the importance was very similar to Everton's importance in regards to their relegation battle right now. So I'd put Anthony Elanga, or I'd put Richarlison right where Anthony Elanga is with an 8.
Really? Okay. I would probably just put him down by 0.1 to a
Okay.
7.9 with Ronaldo. I think a hat trick versus Norwich. I mean, it's hard to compare a hat trick and 1 goal, but as far as importance, I'd say relegation, you can get all the goals. Like, you just need goals and you need to win games, and he did that against a very good side. So I'm gonna go 7.9.
Okay, so are we saying 7.95 then for our final answer?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll go 7.95. I don't have a pen, so I can't write it down, but I'll do it after the episode.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Richarlison, the Brazilian winger/striker for Everton, who gets himself a 7.95 in the Glass on Grass Weekly podcast, episode
Yes.
29, Hassani of the Week. You like how I dragged that out there? That was fantastic.
It's a long title. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's a very long title, but it's worth the wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And he will make himself known by being on the screen next episode as well.
Yeah, you don't want to do like, you either want to do really well or really like not as good.
Relatively, it's hard because when you're in the bottom 3, you're still really good.
Yeah.
You know, you've gotten yourself a Hassani of the Week,
Yeah.
which is like you were the best player of the week, that episode, whatever you want to call it. But it's kind of, it's kind of unfortunate that you find yourselves in the worst of the players who have gotten the Hassani of the Week
Exactly.
this season. But I mean, you're still gotten it, so congratulations.
You're the
to
worst of the
Charleston.
best.
Yeah.
So.
Would you prefer to be the best of the worst or the worst of the best?
Probably the worst of the best because
Okay.
you're still the best.
Okay, yeah. It's solid.
Yeah.
So Richarlison's probably happy.
Okay. I would think so. Yeah.
With that, we can move on and talk about what we predicted last week and how those games sort of ended up, as well as some other things that happened throughout this past week. The first game that I want to talk about is the Pumas versus Sounders game, which we predicted last week, and we had some really bold predictions.
We did.
We didn't. I don't know if we took it super seriously, but the game was actually a thriller. I know that I said that Mr. Dineno, who is one of their best players, was going to score like a hat trick, and he actually ended up scoring 2 goals. So
incredible.
Really good from me. He got a brace.
Yeah.
The game ended 2-2, and Nicolas Ladero scored the other 2 for Sounders. But, I mean, overall, a good match, and looking forward to the second leg, which will be played on May 4th, 2 days from recording.
And my favorite player on Pumas, I think it's Alfredo Talavera.
It is.
The 39-year-old goalkeeper did pick up a yellow, which, he's known for that as well. He gets into the scraps even as a goalkeeper. Conceding 2 is not terrible.
It's above his average.
Yeah. Let's just say that. But Jordan Morris did not score, which I did predict.
That's unfortunate.
Which, I think maybe second leg is more of his deal.
Yeah.
He's a second leg player.
Oh, totally.
I think. Yeah.
That's his trademark. Second leg player.
Yeah. But yeah, I predicted Seattle win. You predicted Pumas win, and it was a draw. So nothing for either of us in that game, but it really sets up a interesting second leg for this Champions League final.
Oh, it really does.
And then for the second game, CONCACAF. Well, I mean,
you could consider it the Champions League.
It is the Champions League.
It's
most people will be like, "Oh yeah, CONCACAF."
Well,
they aren't like, "Oh, UEFA." They think of CONCACAF first.
Yeah. People, when you talk about the Champions League, if you want to be talking about, the Man Cities, the Real Madrids, the Liverpools, you have to specify UEFA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, people wouldn't.
If you say Champions League, it's like, okay.
Oh, Pumas for Sounders.
Yeah,
I like that too.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a thriller, second leg.
Yeah.
I think this shows quality from the MLS, considering we're in the final and we're doing well against the Liga MX team. Our hometown, Minnesota, will be hosting the MLS All-Star game where we play the Liga MX All-Stars, which is another one that I think we should be looking out for. I will unfortunately be gone for preseason, but I think you will still be here.
I might stick around, yeah.
And that'll be an interesting game to see the level and the matchup between the two leagues.
Yeah, I mean, All-Star games, I feel like the competitiveness isn't always there, but you're still getting the talent on the field. And to be honest, we haven't really talked about the comparison between Liga MX and MLS and that level. I don't think we know enough about Liga MX to really talk on that, but I think there have been a lot of quality players from, Tigres and other teams that have gone on to Europe, similar to how MLS is doing right now.
I mean, Gignac, who went back to the Liga MX, bringing quality into the league.
There you go.
I don't know if he's actually still there anymore, but you should check.
Yeah, we can check it.
I wonder.
Great player.
Gignac is. He was really good in Europe.
Yeah.
He was really solid. He is. No, is he in Argentina now?
No, still at Tigres.
Oh, he's still at Tigres. Tigres UNL. What does the UNAL stand for?
Let's
get another fact check on that. I've always wondered that. Because, I mean, it might be like an FC or a United, you know what I mean?
So you're the Spanish.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah.
Universidad, I can't read that.
Autonoma.
Oh, it must be like...
Nuevo Leon.
So it must be like a...
Is that a city, maybe?
UANL. It's not UNL, it's UANL. So it must be an abbreviation for like, how there's different teams, like professional teams that are like the University of or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
They must have represented a university in their past.
Yeah.
Sort of like a...
That'd be interesting.
It would. We could do a special segment.
Yeah.
Tigres UANL.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on from that game, which was an absolute thriller, to another one which was less of a thriller but still was a good game.
Yeah.
Was the West Ham versus Frankfurt game, which was a Europa League semifinal leg 1, which finished as a 2-1 win to Frankfurt. I don't know if they had 30,000 fans. I'm not sure if they brought them.
No, but I did see like in a pregame, the Frankfurt fans like walking into the stadium, and it was a very large group
It
still.
was.
And I know West Ham's away section is pretty big.
Yeah, it's not quite as
Um,
big as Brighton's, but
No, no. The Olympic Stadium isn't quite as big either.
No.
The Amex is huge.
the
It's
Amex, the
massive.
Amex is like New Camp.
Yeah, exactly. But Frankfurt actually scored like within the first minute of the game, which kind of shocked West Ham, I'd say. But Antonio scored in the 21st. Then Frankfurt fired back in the 54th. And did you see Jared Bowen's attempted bicycle kick too?
I did not, but Jaron Bode's a legend, so
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Bicycle kick off the crossbar, off the keeper, and away.
Wow.
Like the keeper dove for it, hit the crossbar, like hit the
That's
keeper's
crazy.
back, but didn't go in.
Yeah, I saw Jaron Bowen scored this past weekend.
Yeah.
Against now I can't remember who West Ham played, but it was a pretty
Arsenal?
nice goal.
Arsenal?
It might have been. It might have been. He took a touch, and hit it with his left foot and deflected into the bottom left corner. It was a pretty good goal. The deflection wasn't massive, so it was pretty much going there anyway.
Yeah.
But he did score another really nice goal. It was against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So, and Jared Bowen is clearly doing well at the
Mhm.
moment for the London club, West Ham United. That was the second game that we predicted. The third game that we predicted was Manchester United versus Chelsea, which is obviously a Premier League top 4 race. And, I mean, very, very important game.
It was, and it did finish 1-1. It was kind of a weird game. I remember watching it. Chelsea scored, and then it was pretty much Chelsea domination for the most part of the game. Man U just did not look like attacking whatsoever. Chelsea had a bunch of chances, and then I believe it was like the 60th minute or something like that. Chelsea scored, but then Ronaldo scored right after, and it was like, 2 minutes later after Marcos Alonso scored. And when Chelsea scored, I thought to myself, "Oh, Leo's got this one right," because you predicted a Chelsea win, and I was
Yep.
like, I mean, man,
I mean, you probably weren't feeling bad for me at that point.
No, I was feeling good for you. I was like, oh, he finally gets one right. And Man U weren't doing anything, and I was like, okay, Chelsea might score another here, make it 2-0. But Ronaldo scored right after. It was a very good goal. And then it just ended in a stalemate. I feel like Chelsea didn't have like a whole lot of chances. Reece James hit the post later on, but Chelsea again, wasting a lot of opportunities, I feel like, and that is probably down to their lack of striker and lack of, I feel like, attacking
Yeah.
threat. Obviously, Marcos Alonso scored for them, not any of their attackers. So
Well, Marcus is a beast.
yeah,
He deserves all the praise.
yeah, he does.
Moving past the games we predicted last week, as I am someone who doesn't really want to think about those, which you'll see in a little bit because we will put the predictions on screen and whatnot. But we do need to talk about Carlo Ancelotti for a little bit because that's what this episode is about. And he's made history, something that no manager has ever done. If you don't know, he actually won the league or the domestic league title in all 5 of the European top 5 leagues. So that means Ligue 1, Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, and Premier League. He did the La Liga with Real Madrid, like we were talking about just this year, a couple days ago. But we do have to talk about, where does he stand in the best managers of all time race? I'm going to name just a lot of his trophies that he has won. He's won the world's best club coach 2 times, and then with his teams, he's won the FIFA Club World Cup twice, the Champions League 3 times. He's been an English Premier League champion, an English FA Cup champion, a Spanish champion, a Spanish Cup champion, the Spanish Super Cup champion, a German champion, an Italian Cup champion, an Italian Super Cup champion, a French champion, a UEFA Super Cup champion, a German Super Cup winner, and an English Super Cup winner. That's a lot of trophies,
Wow.
but I feel like it emphasizes how good his career has been.
Yeah. I mean, obviously no other manager has done that, but also at the same time, when you think of Pep or Klopp or Mourinho, I don't think any of those managers have even coached in all 5 leagues. so obviously, say with Pep, who many people think is the best manager of all time, he's only done it in 3 leagues with Barcelona, Bayern, and Man City. Like Sir Alex Ferguson was just Manchester United, so he didn't move around leagues. It's still a very impressive title,
It's
but
quite impressive,
I feel
but
like it's two different like accomplishments. One is staying at one club or being really successful at one club versus moving around, which might have been because of yeah, you won the title, but then maybe a poor season
yeah, I
after.
think that that's
Yeah.
something to be looked at. I mean, he started managing club football in 1995, and he's still managing in 2022. That
Yeah,
says 27 years, and he's coached a total of 11 teams, I think, that I counted
that's
that
crazy.
are
Yeah.
clubs. So I mean, that is pretty much two and a little bit more seasons per club,
Yeah.
which doesn't look great on your resume, even if you have won all of these trophies. I mean, you would expect to win all of these trophies, or at least a majority of them, when you've coached Real Madrid, Napoli, Bayern, Paris Saint Germain, Chelsea, AC Milan, Juve. You know, these are huge teams that you'd probably expect to have, had at least some sort of success with.
Yeah. It's big clubs, and obviously, I mean, what did you say for Champions League? How many times has he won
Three.
it? 3. And was that all with one with Real Madrid?
Let me go back.
Um,
I don't know if they specify, but I can go back and check. Oh, they do. They do tell you. So the Champions League was with
Real
Real Madrid,
Madrid.
AC Milan, and AC Milan.
Okay, so
In Real
yeah.
Madrid in 2013-14, that was his first stint with them. This right now is his second. And then AC Milan in 2002-3 and 2006-7.
I mean, that's still incredible for winning it 3 different times and also with 2 different teams. While most managers, it's once
Yep.
with one team. Um, who do you kind of prefer? Obviously, I mean, I don't know who your best manager of all time pick is, but would you say it is harder to go to 5 different leagues and then be that successful for all 5, or it's harder to maybe stay at one club and still win that much, even though, maybe the teams in the league with you have then like figured out your coaching style, but still being able to push through and win a lot of titles or a lot of Champions Leagues?
I think that they're both really impressive. I think it's really
Yeah.
hard, like regardless, because if you're at one club for 5 to 10 years, I mean, if you're looking at Sir Alex even longer,
Yeah.
it's really hard not to have a dip in form throughout your seasons. Whether that's for one season or 3 seasons or 5 seasons or longer, you're pretty inevitably going to have a dip in form and not do well at some point. So getting through that with a team and keeping them on trajectory to where they're supposed to be is really impressive. I think Pep, I think Klopp, I think they're two really good. Sir Alex are very good examples of that. They didn't win the league every single year.
Yeah.
Klopp even said, what was it, 5 years ago, that he was like, I don't think we can do it this year. I don't think we can do it next year. I have a long term plan. Not saying 20 years, but in 5 years, I think we'll have one championship. And by that, he didn't mean Prem or World or Champions League. He just meant like one of them,
Yeah.
So I think that it's very impressive when you stick with a club and are able to have consistency with them. And I would say probably it's a little bit more impressive than moving around a lot, because I think that when you move around a lot, you're still going to hit bad patches. But I think you can, if you're smart, find clubs that are generally speaking on the come up with the players that they have and the budgets that they have, and what they're going to give you. So you can be selective about what you choose to be a part of.
Yeah, and when you talk about like even it's usually talking about players, but coming into a new league, a lot of players need time to actually like adapt to the new league. Um, and then we also saw that with a manager with Ancelotti coming back to the Premier League with Everton this season,
It's
which is
very
hard to
cool.
believe it was this season. Did not do like super well. Started off the season very well, but then dipped in form, and then obviously then got sacked, and then goes on to Real Madrid and wins the title with
Yep.
them. So it's like it's weird to think that he can both go from like a relegation team now, and then also to a title winning team in a different
Yeah.
league in one
I think
season.
it's hard though because I'm not trying to invalidate the work that he's done with Real Madrid,
Yeah.
but they are really good. And
Yes,
I think
very,
that if
very
they
good.
didn't have a manager, they'd still be really good. Like if you
Yeah.
had David Alaba just like putting out a lineup, I'm pretty sure they'd also still
I
be
mean, they're all
really
old
good.
enough to be managers at
Yeah,
this
they
point,
are.
like
It's crazy.
Casemiro,
So
Modric, Cruz.
they're very well. Like eventually, obviously, if you don't have some sort of authority, I think there would be a little bit of trouble within the club.
Maybe, yeah.
But what I'm trying to say here is that team is so good that I think there's a lot of managers out there, especially coming in midway through the season, that would end up winning a title with them.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't think it's as impressive as people think.
Mm,
That being said, the milestones that he's achieved throughout his career are still something to look at and be amazed by.
I agree. But yeah, I think
And if, just to close that conversation out, I don't know really if he's in my top five. I would say Sir Alex.
top five, really.
Yeah, I would have to think about it, but definitely my top three would be Sir Alex, Pep, Klopp.
Klopp as your first, or
No,
Sir Alex as your
Pep,
first?
Klopp in order,
I would go Pep first.
and then Sir Alex.
Uh,
Would you even have him in there?
yeah, I would. I
So you
would.
just switch
Yeah,
those two.
yeah. I mean, coming to mind, it's obviously a Pep, Klopp, and Sir Alex.
Oh,
Kind of top 3. I don't know who else you would think of.
I'd have to think about it more because
Well,
there's like,
Zidane did very well at Real
yeah,
Madrid.
Zidane, Carlo
Um,
Ancelotti. There's a
he
lot
won.
of managers that you can talk
Yeah,
about that have done.
he won back to back to back
Yeah.
Champions Leagues with Real Madrid, so it's kind of hard to leave him out of it. Although he hasn't been managing for a
Yeah.
little bit, so I think
Jose
as far
Mourinho
as
as well could
okay,
maybe
Jose, yeah,
put himself in the picture. There's just so many managers that I think are quite close in level and prestige throughout their careers that could be in that 4 or 5 spot.
yeah,
Where I don't think it's something that I could like say immediately and be like that's guaranteed. But I don't know if Carlo makes it into my top five. You look at like someone like Jose Mourinho. He's done things that no one else can do. Porto winning the Champions
yeah,
League and some other trophies that he's won with different clubs, whether in Serie A or in the Premier League. He's done great things. Same thing like you said with Zidane. But they
Conte
all
as
have,
well, yeah,
and Conte. They all have done fantastic things with their clubs. But at the same time, they all have a little bit of a downside. Mourinho has absolutely failed at some clubs.
yeah,
And Carlo Ancelotti has moved around to 11 or so clubs in the last 25 years. Like it's stuff that you look like it's so hard to weigh what's better and what's not.
exactly. Yeah, to finish out, I'd say Jose would probably go above Klopp in the
You think so?
top 3. Yeah,
I wouldn't do that. But each man can have
yeah,
his own opinion.
exactly.
To be fair,
We don't have to agree on it all.
No,
but
we don't. We shall move to the EFL Championship, where our first prediction takes place. Now we're moving to our 3 predictions that we'll be doing, and the first one is Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. I'm sure you can see on the screen that there are the predictions coming up. The first one, like I said, is Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest, which is a battle for automatic promotion in the EFL Championship. Bournemouth's on 82 points and Nottingham Forest is on 79 points. I know you talked to me earlier today about who got automatic. I'm sure you guys can guess, but
Fulham FC with a, I think, 7-0 win against Luton, who are battling for a playoff promotion spot right now, and to win 7-0 against them, it kind of shows the levels that they're at.
it's so crazy that
Yeah.
they can absolutely obliterate every single
Yeah.
team in the championship and then get absolutely obliterated by every single team in the Premier League. Like,
Yeah.
that just shows the levels and the difference between the 2 leagues.
Yeah, and Mitrovic scored 2 goals, I believe, and I think he took the highest scoring player in the championship for the modern era, I believe. I think they're saying when I was watching the game, some Blackburn striker had 59, but it was before like the modern 59 goals in one season is absolutely incredible.
gosh.
There's only like 40 something in the championship, so that's like
That's
an
ridiculous.
incredible record. But for modern era Mitrovic, I mean, no one really comes close to
It's
him.
kind of like the modern era Hassani of the weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or even the Pele, like,
Yeah, it's the modern era goals as well.
yeah.
Pele with 3,000 goals, but 2,500 of them came against his dad in the backyard.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you count anything you can.
you do. I scored a couple of Pele's goals yesterday.
I'd probably be up there
Yeah.
in the thousands as
Oh,
well.
yeah, totally.
If we
With my
did
pickup goals, dude.
training goals,
Yeah.
everything combined, I think. You're talking about the top 5 player.
Yeah, I'd say Brown makes it into the top
Yeah.
scorers of all time.
Yeah.
Probably indefinitely.
Yeah.
But to predict the game, Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest, which great graphic by the way from the Class and Grass.
It's just it always. I mean, maybe we should talk about last week.
Maybe we don't.
There's a glaring in the bottom right there. Yeah.
If you're listening, it's not ideal. I went 0 for 3 again, which makes my record 12 and 27, which is really poor. Really
embarrassing.
It's really when producer Sutton says that's really embarrassing,
Yeah.
I know I should probably just stop doing predictions altogether.
Should you have Suddy have a go?
At predicting mine.
Yeah.
So do you want
Just see
to
if
today?
he doesn't go over.
You want to?
I'd love to.
If you don't go 0 for 3, I'm gonna. Oh gosh.
Or do you want him to do mine?
No, he can do mine.
Okay.
I need it. I don't have any luck.
You can only go
last week,
up.
I predicted legitimate answers
Yes.
to every single game. Like,
Yes.
oh yeah, Chelsea's gonna win this game. Like, yeah, that's a huge possibility when Chelsea is playing literally anyone.
Yeah.
But it's just like, come back and you're 0 for 3, and you're just like, what's going on here?
I mean, it's hard to come into work when you go over 3. It's
yeah,
like,
when I saw that, I was like, am I really gonna go to the studio today?
yeah, like, do you want to face that reality? So Suddy then, as you see on the top there, Bournemouth versus Forest.
And you're predicting for me.
Who do you think will win?
I'll give you the information as well.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I do know that we can agree on 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it can be a draw.
Yeah. And so Bournemouth right now is in second place in the Championship, which is the second division of English football. So it's like the second minor league.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in second place, and Nottingham Forest is in third place, 1 win behind them. So they're really close. But Bournemouth has the stats, technically.
With a Forest win.
A Nottingham Forest win,
Wow.
the underdogs. Wow.
So
see, I would have done the same thing.
it's going to come down to one of the final days for that automatic promotion spot.
That's
Wow.
true. If that's the case, it's going to get really tense in the Championship.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the draw.
You go, you love those cheeky draws,
Yeah,
don't you?
I mean,
I mean, it's working.
Scott Parker. Scott Parker is the manager, and I have a family member who's a Fulham fan. He was the manager for Fulham, and draws were kind of in his nature, similar to a Graham Potter type. Yeah. And I think Bournemouth will hold their 3-point lead in the table for one more week at least, and that's gonna be a draw, I think.
All right. Man says it. Usually
I do.
It means it happens.
Well,
He speaks it into existence.
We'll see. And then the second one, Real Madrid, Man City, Champions League, semifinal, second leg
El segundo leg.
at
I don't
the
know what leg is
Bernabeu.
in Spanish.
Aggregate is 3-4 to City. It was a 4-3 win for them at the Etihad last leg. An incredible game. If I was a
We're
betting,
predicting the individual game, right? Not who goes through.
no, I think it's who goes through because we did that for.
No, we did, didn't we? No, we did.
We
We'll
did,
go
yeah,
who
we
goes
did
through.
that for
We'll
one
do who
other
goes
one.
through.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna explain this one to Suddy. I think Suddy gets first pick on all of these. Just 'cause
Yeah, sure.
So I'll explain this one to Suddy. So, this is Real Madrid versus Man City. It's like we said, a Champions League. It's like the highest level of playoffs, semifinal, the second leg. So they do kind of like the NBA playoffs, especially for anyone listening who also doesn't know. It's kind of like the NBA playoffs. But instead of like a 7-game series, it's 2-game series, and they combine the scores of both the games. So
So weird.
Yeah.
So right now, the score is 4-3 Manchester City. So for example, if Real Madrid were to win 2-0, the final score would be 5-4 Real Madrid. So they keep the score from the first game and then just add on to it. So
Does that apply when they're playing as well?
yeah. So
Yeah.
Yep. So they just combine the scores from the two
So
games.
it's a total score.
Yeah, it's an aggregate. You add them together and see who has the most score. So who do you think? Real Madrid currently has a disadvantage because they are losing this game right now 3-4, but it's at home for them. So they were losing away 3-4, but now they're playing at home.
Well, if there's anything that the playoffs have taught me, it's
Ooh.
that having home advantage does not mean anything.
Okay, so home
okay,
advantage doesn't mean
okay,
anything. Yep.
okay.
So I'm gonna go with a Man City.
Is that a Timberwolves diss? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's unfortunate.
So he went with the Man City win.
And if you didn't hear, it's because the Timberwolves also had home advantage at certain times and never won.
Yeah, they only won 1 out of their 3 games at home. Okay, and I'm going to agree with you there. I think this is like a last chance for Pep and this like City team for the Champions League. I feel like if he does get knocked out in this round, it's just going to be a bit of a stain on his record for his Man City career if he never. Obviously, he reached the final last year, but still, I think he does need to win that Champions League at some point, and I think this year is the year. And it might be a 0-0, it might be a 1-0. I don't see it being a 7-goal
A 7-goal affair.
game again, and have it be like 8-6 on
That'd be great.
aggregate.
That'd be like the 8-2 aggregate Barca Bayern.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I agree. City win.
Okay, so we're both agreeing on that one.
Yeah.
We can agree on 2. That's what
Yeah, so Roma versus Leicester is our final one. It's a Europa Conference League semifinal. All of the European competitions are coming to an end here. It's 1-1 on aggregate. Jose Mourinho versus Brendan Rodgers.
Yes.
2 great managers. Roma are in 6th in Serie A, and Leicester are in 11th in the Premier League. I'd say both maybe underperforming for
Underperforming,
Yeah.
and I would say that 6th place in Serie A, given the quality of Serie A compared to the Premier League,
Yeah.
might be similar to a 11th in the Premier League.
Yeah, I would
At
agree.
least go to say that.
Yeah.
So, Suddy, you get to go first again on this one. This is, like we said, Roma versus Leicester. What me and Mac would say similar level teams. Roma maybe has more prestige than Leicester, but I think that if you really put them in a game against each other for like 10 games, it would probably be 5 wins for one, 5 wins for the other. So very similar level, and I think it's a toss-up here. It's another one where the scores are added on, but it's tied right now 1-1.
So it doesn't really
it's basically
matter.
like a clean slate.
Whoever wins the game will go through.
Yep.
What happens if no one wins?
Then they go to extra time.
Extra
and then they
time
would go
and
to
then penalties. Yeah.
So someone has to win.
Someone has to win this
because
game.
it's the second game.
So you can't draw.
You can
No, you cannot.
Oh,
no draws.
because I was gonna say that.
Oh, he's.
Well, you can predict a draw to penalties, but you have to choose.
Then
the
you'd have to
winner.
choose who wins the penalties, and
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
All right, then I'm gonna go with Roma.
Okay, Roma win. Jose Mourinho making it to the final of the Europa Conference League. What a prestigious competition as well.
I mean, it's CONCACAF Champions League
And
and,
then the Europa
Conference League.
When you talk about
Yeah.
like Europa, people think Conference League.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, exactly. And then for my pick, you know what? I'm gonna agree again with Suddy. I think the special one, Jose Mourinho, his prowess and his
Prowess.
career
James
will
Ward prowess.
yes, it will pull through, and Roma will get the win here. And
Your third place best manager ever.
yep, I have to go with
You
him.
have
I don't
to.
think
You
Brendan
back him.
Rodgers.
I do not.
He might not be
think
even
Brendan
in the
Rodgers
top
is-
10 for me.
I would agree with you on that.
Graham Potter might be above him.
I would think Graham Potter sneaks his way into the top 5.
Maybe. I mean, it's saying something that Suddy and I have.
Ave said she likes Suddy's picks.
Yeah, it's saying
Doesn't everyone?
it's saying something that we have similar picks,
Oh, it is.
and I have a decent record.
Yeah.
So.
If this goes 0-3, it's just because I'm doomed for the rest of the season. Like there's nothing.
But then I'm 0, well, I might be 1-2, but
Yeah.
I'm losing points as well, so
Yeah.
you can feel a little better about that.
Yeah. If I'm going down, you're going down with me. It's
Exactly.
one of those, company goes down together.
So if you go, I think Suddy should keep predicting yours if it keeps
he
going. If
wins.
he's 3-0.
Okay. If you're 3-0, you get to go again.
Yeah.
All right. Deal.
If
Yeah.
it goes to 3-0.
If you get
if
all
you
3
hit
right.
3-0, then you get to predict again.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to be praying for
Okay,
these.
we'll
You got to
Yeah.
be hoping.
Suddy's actually gonna watch the game.
Study's watching all 3.
Yeah.
He's taking notes.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna get him a mic next time. He's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
dissecting, every little play that happened and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are our picks for the 3 prediction games or the 3 predicted games. Moving on, we have fantasy to cover before we close the pod. It's always a bit of a laugh to see how invested we are in our fantasy teams.
Yeah.
So, as you can see on the screen, Well, I have to wait until I
There
can
it
see. There it
is.
is. Lovely. As we can see and you can see on the screen, not the best week. Pretty bang on average actually for us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a lot of difference between either of our fantasy and draft teams, which we usually see. Maybe one is done a lot
I
better
mean,
than
yours
the
are
other.
virtually the exact
Mine's
same.
off by 1 point. In the fantasy team, average was 40 for this week. I got 42. I think it might have been down to Livermento and Simicas as well, getting zeros, which has become a bit of a trend. Can you explain why Basuma got 11? Because that's quite incredible. He was my highest point
Yeah,
total.
I can let you know.
Yeah.
Basuma started.
Okay.
Basuma's a midfielder,
Yep.
and we kept a clean sheet. That improves his
Assist,
score
maybe?
a little bit, and he also scored.
Oh, he scored.
Did you see his
Wow.
goal?
I did not.
I will not be able to show you because then the viewers can't see. But
Yeah.
the ball came in from Cucurella. It was a pretty nice touch. He was about 25 yards outside the box, and he hit it low driven into the bottom left corner.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was.
It's good to see
slow.
him
It was
back.
a slow roller, but it
Yeah.
was so accurate that it went in.
Yeah, that's good. Fernandez as well scored today against Brentford. And then for the draft team, also it's just a lot of, sixes and unders besides Digne actually had a great week with 8, but I finished with 43 points. I know you're looking at the
I'm looking at the
draft.
table right now.
I think I've slipped a bit.
We
Maybe.
both have. I'm in 7th out of 10, which is not ideal.
No.
And you're in 4th out of 10.
Still in the Champions League, but I remember like second at one point.
You were tied up with James at one point, and
Yeah.
now you're 9 points behind him.
Yeah, I mean,
It's hard to see yourself coming
the form is dipped, and it happens to the best teams. I was so consistent for the whole year, and then falling off a bit there, but I think we'll rebound.
The league, it's so interesting. Number 1 is James with 69 points, and then like right behind him is 66 and 64, and you really like going all the way down to 9. We're at 42 points.
Wow.
And so we have a really compact
Yeah.
upper 9. And then you look at 10, and number 10 is on 7 points. I'm not going to name names here, but the last place team in the fantasy league has not. His record is currently 2 wins, 1 draw, and 32 losses.
Wow.
Which is not what you want to see. I
Yeah.
wonder who that could be. Hopefully, that's not a reflection on my predictions.
Hopefully they sack the manager and then
Yeah, new manager for Sudden Death Football Club.
maybe not get relegated, but we'll see. And then how did you do on this week?
I had 36 points, as you can see on screen. Pretty average week for me. Let me see. Let me
Mape
check
with
my
0.
results.
How did
I
that?
lost to Paul, who had 42. So unfortunately, I was not able to pull out 3 points from this game.
How did I
week.
do?
You for
Did I
fixtures.
must have gotten a win.
That's not what I need. League results. You lost to Patrick 51 to
Ooh.
43. So that's unfortunate from you.
Yeah.
Suddy lost to Miles 30 to 4. I want to see Suddy's team. So the problem with Suddy's team is that he has Greenwood. He has Greenwood, Josh Sargent, Cantwell, and Sigurdsson. So like 2 of his players are in jail.
Yeah.
One of his players doesn't play in the league anymore. And then another one is severely and then others are severely injured or don't play.
And they're all starting, so.
they're all
Yeah, and
starting.
that combination usually doesn't go.
You also have Mendy.
great. Yeah.
Benjamin, another one in jail.
So did you?
No, that was not on purpose.
No, you chose.
totally just chose.
It's a draft. It was what
you
was
accidentally
available.
picked 3 people who ended up in jail.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate for me.
I mean, that's just
That's just not what you want to see.
it's the draft. You have to get who you can, and sometimes they
It just
end up
doesn't
in
quite
jail.
work out.
Yeah. So that's just what happens. But
that closes the fantasy portion, and
think
also sort of a short pod this week.
yeah.
Or a shorter one. I'd say about 45 to
But I
50
think
minutes.
I think we'll make up for it with the content that will be coming this next couple weeks.
I would 100% agree. Keep your eyes
Yeah.
peeled for some really cool interviews with
Yep.
some people. We're probably going to be putting together some episodes that aren't going to be live, and they will air. They'll be premiered. So
Yeah.
you'll see them, and they'll be more put together than these ones. These ones are kind of like, let's all get on, let's have a laugh, let's just enjoy
Yep.
an hour on our Monday night, which is a great vibe, and we love it. But we do want to switch it up a little bit and have some that are like this, and then some that are more special episodes,
Yep.
which have different segments and are more professionally made. So keep your eyes out for that, because they will be on their way, and you'll get to see cool interviews with some players that you might want to keep your eyes out for, and then other cool games that we play. So yeah, like we said, big things to come. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.